Now I have to talk to you about CNN. Its primetime ratings dipped below 500,000 viewers, with less than 100,000 of those coming from the 25 to 54-year-old demographic. Now the numbers are of course a troubling sign for the network. Hillary, are you surprised? Why are the ratings just tanking?
Yes, they are. And this is not just recent news. This has been a steady decline, rather like a ski slope, Gabriella. And what's interesting is, where are those viewers going? I can tell you one of the networks they're going to, and that is Newsmax. I'm a proud contributor at Newsmax. They're now the fourth watched network right behind Fox. And I would say that I know definitely the 8 p.m. hour, 9 p.m. hour, Rob Finnerty and Rob Schmidt have definitely exceeded the CNN ratings. Now to the other part of your question, which is why, when you watch a network that is consistently wrong, you can't really believe what they're saying. So why would you continue to watch somewhere where the predictions are wrong and the opinions are wrong? And what's very sad, actually, I don't think Ted Turner ever set out to have a left-wing propaganda network. He did set out and was the first innovator, actually, for 24-hour news. I personally find it sad. I would like to just see news, and you don't have that anymore, certainly not from CNN.
Yeah, too many lies have been spun, as you say. Opinions are so off and really not connecting with the average American, in my opinion. And I think as well, many people are tuning into digital programs. Many are getting their news on X, and they're happily switching off from CNN. Now, I have to talk to you about what's going on in Canada. Canadians are heading to the polls. It appears that the Liberals are poised to win their fourth consecutive term in office. We know that Trump has trolled Canadians on election day. He's taken to social media joking that he was on the ballot. Calm down, everyone, it is a joke. And repeating his call for Canada to become the 51st US state. Now, it appears that former central bank governor Mark Carney will be the winner. We'll wait to see. Hillary, what's your assessment of Canadians just getting another Justin Trudeau with him?
Well, that is really how it looks. Mark Carney, certainly as the head of the Bank of England, was actually no great force in terms of economic change nor prosperity. So I actually think this is rather sad for Canadians. The definite that has come out of this is the Canadian national spirit. There's actually been quite a few commercials with their elbows in the air referring to the hockey move that the Canadian ice hockey successful players have used. It's been a rallying cry for Canadians to rally behind him, since he's obviously the opposing political view for President Trump, and because many Canadians have been rallied with this thought of not wanting to become the 51st state. I do actually think it's a great pity, because I think most Canadians would be certainly more prosperous if they were part of the US. And also, one of the things President Trump has said is that the Canadians, they don't provide for their own national security. I don't think many people realize this. Americans, the American taxpayer, provides for Canadian security. So I think the Canadians need to step up for a lot. But yes, you're right. The election results are looking like it will be Mark Carney. And this is a drastic change from as recently as December, when they were polling at about 11%. They went into this election tied with Pierre Poilievre, the more populist conservative candidate. Of course, it's a parliamentary system. There are 343 seats at stake. And like in the UK, people vote for their local congressman, and then that seat then determines who will be prime minister, looking like Mark Carney. The polls have closed here on the East Coast. They will close at 10 p.m. on the West Coast, 7 p.m. their time. And then we should know more tomorrow. However, their ballots are still paper ballots, Gabriella, so it will take a while for the concrete results to be counted.
Okay, and Hillary, finally, there was really sad news over the weekend that Virginia Duprey, who of course accused Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein of sexual assault, has died. Now, her family confirmed that she died by suicide. I've seen a lot of theories circulating online, particularly an old post that she wrote years ago resurfaced claiming that she wasn't suicidal. Of course, there were always going to be these theories brought up, just as there are conspiracy theories around the death of Jeffrey Epstein, but her family has confirmed her death was by suicide. It raises the question, I suppose, that we really want answers to. Are we ever going to see this Epstein client list that supposedly exists? And also, Hillary, I know you've spoken about this previously, but I want to get your reflections. Is her death a reminder of just how evil Epstein was?
Yes, and yes. One thing I will add, actually, if I could, is with regard to the suicide. Yes, you were correct earlier when you said that she had written a note and made it public that she was not suicidal. However, that was over 2.5 years ago, and she has recently separated from her husband and is going through a custody battle, which I think for any mother is something that's very distressing. And also, she'd had an accident recently, hit by a bus, and she posted she only had 48 hours to live. The bus driver then refuted that the accident was that serious. So there was a number of things here. Was she telling the truth? Was the accident that serious? So some things that she was saying herself were rather discombobulated, and it wasn't a straight line of truth. So always surrounded by something other than a straight line here. What I will say is there are many people who would like to see those files. I don't know that they'll ever become totally public. Why? Because there's too many people that are too powerful in too many places that don't want them to become public, Gabriella. And I think that behind the scenes, they're the ones that are controlling those lists. They were supposed to be made public right after Trump came to power, and they weren't. So that remains to be seen. And I think it's somewhat doubtful that we'll ever know sort of the whole truth.
Yeah, it's very sad. It was so sad and so disappointing. There was so much hope when Trump came in that we would get all of the truth, all of it. Who knows if we ever will. Hilary Fordwich, President and founder of Strellmark, thank you so much for joining us in Power Hour.
Pleasure. You're welcome, Gabriella.